Hello everyone and happy Valentine's Day. And if you're single, happy Valentine's Day to you too. I haven't had any Valentine's cards or anything. I think we're all getting a bit old for that. No, anyway, Mick's not going to be with me. I'm going to be on my own, but I'm going to be with my other fella, which is Jack today. Now, I didn't sleep very well last night. I had about 2 hours. And this morning, I have been going through boxes of stuff, thinking I am not going to save all my nice skincare and my nice makeup until I move, because it may have gone off by then. So I've got out all my lovely skincare. I'm going to show you a photo on community, or I might put it actually on this video at the end, because I've set up a dressing table full of my really nice skincare. I've done my skin. I've pepped it up with all sorts of luxury skincare items. And I'm going to use today the new Anastasia Love Palette, because it's Valentine's Day. Let me just show you. And this is it. This is the Natasha Denona Love Palette. Okay? And with fingerprints on it. So I'm going to use that. But first of all, I'm going to put some foundation on. Now, I am going to review very shortly, probably tomorrow, the Natasha Denona foundation. Lots to say about that. But today, because I really feel like glowing and I feel like really pampering myself, I dug out my La Prairie foundation. Look it up. It is the most ridiculously priced foundation, which I treated myself to just after I retired. And I thought, if I don't use it soon, it's actually going to go off. So I don't want it to go off, because that's just silly at that price. So I'm going to put that on. So I'm going to put a bit of Wonderglow on, and then I'll show you me applying this La Prairie foundation, because it does look beautiful on the skin. Okay, here is my La Prairie. Look at that. Isn't it lovely? So it comes with its own stand, should do for that price. And it's a lovely mirrored stand with a brush for the concealer. And then it's got a little powder puff, which I haven't used, but I'm going to use it today. And I'm also going to apply my Wonderglow with that so that you can see. Let me do a little selfie now so that you can see me before and after. And I'll do it in the same light, and I'll be right back. Okay, first on in, I'm going to put some Wonderglow on. Actually, I think I'm just going to put this on with my hands and let the warmth of my hands get my circulation going. And let's see if I notice any difference. I'm not a huge fan of Wonderglow, because I often don't see any difference whatsoever on my skin, but it's definitely moisturising. I just can't see anything going on, but maybe there is. Let me put some on my head. Right, and a tiny bit under my eyes. And I'm peeling a little bit because I did a lot of skincare before this video. Right, and now I'm going to go in with my La Prairie. So this is La Prairie Skin Caviar Foundation. It's outrageously expensive, and it was a one-off treat when I was medically retired and I had a lump sum payment. I just always wanted to try it, but it really is very expensive. And I've just dropped the brush. Excuse me 1 second and I'll be right back. So I actually got this, which is a really good match. I made sure I went in to get matched. You just don't want to make a mistake with shades in this foundation. I got the shade Satin Nude, which is, I think it's, yes, it's neutral 30, which is actually quite nice on me. And then at the top, it comes with a concealer in the lid and a little brush. And then it's got a little powder puff, which, as you can see, I haven't used yet, but I'm going to use it today. As I said, there's no point in it sitting in a box going off. I want to use this foundation. So I'm just gonna, now the packaging reminds me a lot of Daniel's one, because he has a foundation with a concealer in the lid, but his is obviously a lot less expensive. Now I have to say that this for me, I think is one of the closest matches to my skin tone of any foundation that I've ever used. Can you see that? Look, really, really good match. So I'm going to pat that into my skin with this. And it does give your skin the most beautiful glow. If you want to look up any other reviews, just look up most expensive foundation, because you will find it. I think Jeffree Star has done a review, and I know that Tati did a review of this. I'm not sure about this sponge, because it's soaking up a lot of the foundation, which you really don't want to waste when you've spent that amount of money. I keep going on about the price. When I bought it, it's probably gone up now. It was about £180 for a bottle. I know. Have you all fallen off your chair yet? As I said, a one-off purchase. As a one-off massive treat to mark my retirement. But I do not want this to go off. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the sponge that they supply with this foundation, but nevertheless, I'm just going to take Charlotte's complexion brush and just add another little layer over the cheek area. The sponge is nothing to write home about. I'm just going to dab that. It's one of those foundations that I looked at for years and thought, one day if I have enough money to splurge, I'd love to get that. And I just did. When I got my payout, I felt massively guilty about it. But it does look beautiful on the skin. And then in the top, now I haven't tried this brush out, but I think this brush is going to be a bit more impressive. This sponge, nothing special about it. And now the concealer is the same shade. And again, it's quite full coverage, but it doesn't look cakey. And it's supposed to have essence of caviar in it. I suppose it will. I shouldn't say suppose, because I'm sure they couldn't sell it if it didn't. It is a beautiful concealer as well. Can you see? It sort of covered everything up, covered my dark circles, but it doesn't look cakey and it doesn't settle into fine lines. It's a brilliant, brilliant formula. I'd love to say it's not worth the money, but I think, as you will see from other reviews, no one has quite been able to say that about this foundation. But I think you can get really good foundations a lot cheaper than this. And I'm just going to do the Charlotte trick, which is to take some of this and press it into these lines. Just do this with my fingers. Give it a wiggle. Now, at the moment, it's looking a little bit pale on me. I think it was the concealer that's made it look quite pale. And then I'm going to finish off with, yes, I got the La Prairie powder. Now, the La Prairie powder is an expensive outlay, but it actually works out cheaper than Charlotte Tilbury's. If you look at the amount that you get, because you get a massive size and then you get a travel size, and actually when you look at the price per gram, it works out cheaper. It's just you're buying more to start with, so there's more of an outlay when you buy it, but you actually get more for your money. And again, it's a lovely powder. I'm just dropping some into the lid. Oops, hit my camera. And you don't need to use that much. I can't imagine running out of this super fast. But I am going to start using this so that I use it up, because I do not want this to go off and know that and throw it in the bin having wasted any of it. That thing when you buy something for best and then you end up throwing it out because it's gone off before you've used it all. I do not want to do that. Okay, so this is this foundation. It does come with a powder puff as well, by the way. And a proper travel size one. And a little thing to scoop out the powder into the travel size container. It's really, they think of everything. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in so that you can see this. And then we're going to get on with the eyeshadow, because I've got to go soon and pick Jack up from school. Okay, and I'm going to do an after with just the foundation on, and I'll put that photograph here next to my before photo so that you can see that in the same light. Okay, I'm going to try and do a live tomorrow morning, Saturday morning UK time, about 10:30. So I hope you can join me then. And I'm going to then swatch all the colours from this, because I have got to get on this afternoon and I've got to visit my dad and I've got to pick my son up. But I'm going to just do a look with this and then swatch it live for you in the morning. So this is the Love palette, and it just seemed very fitting today, of all days, on Valentine's Day, that I show you this. It arrived 2 days ago, and if anyone has looked at my Instagram page, you will see that I couldn't wait to use it, and I did actually do a purple look. Today I'm going to do a bit more of a kind of pinky Valentine kind of day, pinky, use some of these shades rather than the purples. And let's see how we get on, shall we? I'm going to speed through this and probably do a voiceover at the end. Otherwise, I'm going to take too long, and I'm going to look at the time and realise that I'm late picking my son up. So I hope you enjoyed this look, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so first on in, I'm going with the shade called First. And this is a matte light shade, very sort of cream shade, just to even out my skin tone on my lids and provide me with a base. And then I'm going to build up the pink in the socket gradually. So first on in, I'm going in with the shade Intense, which is a matte pink shade. I'm gradually going to build up the intensity there. They take a little bit of blending. Nothing's as good as Charlotte Tilbury for blending, I have to say, but they're not bad. Okay, then next on in, I'm going in with Heart, as you can see. And Heart is sort of, actually it's a bit more red, reddy pink. And just building that up there, making sure that I really intensify the lid. And with each colour, I'm intensifying it more into a smaller area. And then I'm going in with the shade Heartbeat, and then really making it dark in that outer corner and making sure I blend it in well. Holding my eyelid taut there so that I can really blend, blend, blend. Okay, and then I'm going to take my smudger brush, and first on in, I'm going in with Heart, which is that red shade underneath. But it's a pinky red, so it is a bit more forgiving than just red. And then I'm going in with Heartbeat. So it really is a Valentine's theme today. And then, talking of Valentine, I am now, with my finger, just pressing the shade Valentine, which is a kind of baby pink matte shade. Because I wanted a pink base, although I'm going to put a shimmer over the top in a minute. And then I'm putting a bit of that Valentine underneath just to brighten a bit in the inner corner. And then with my finger, I'm going in with the shade called Giving, which is a shimmery pink over the top. I did wonder what would happen if I wet the brush, but I kept it dry. And then, just to pop on my lids, I'm using a gold shade called Lifetime, just to pop in the centre of my lids. And then I'm taking that gold, that Lifetime shade, and I'm putting it on the inner corner and just in that little bit, and then a little bit underneath, just to make my eyes sparkle, open them up a bit. And then on the top, I'm using the shade Transparent, which is another shimmer shade, but it's not as gold, it's a bit more neutral, to put under my brows. Okay, and then with the smudge brush, I'm going in with the shade Heart, which is that red shade, because I just wanted to make the line of my eye a bit more red for Valentine's Day. Okay, and then over that, I'm doing a thin line of black using my Fenty eyeliner. And you'll see I'm just tracing a line over the lid so far. And then I'm going to work on the wing, a little bit of a wing at the end. And so to do that, I start off by going underneath, and then as though I'm drawing a line up towards my brow end, I draw a little line and then link it up in a little triangle. Can you see what I'm doing there? Now this one wasn't long enough, but this side's always more difficult than the other. Right. And now I'm brushing my brows, and I'm going to do my brows using Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit, which is a very fine pencil. It's very good for brushing in hairs and doing a fine line. But do remember, when you're using a pencil especially, to make sure that you brush afterwards as well as before, which will stop it looking like a pencil. Okay, I think I'm going to take over the talking now. Okay, as I'm short for time, I've just seen this lovely colour here called Intense, which I did use on my lid. Correction, I used it in my socket. And I'm going to use that as a blush. But I just put some Bronze and Glow and some highlighter on, and then I'll put that on. I'm going to use the Beauty Light wand. Sorry, I realised I think I just call that Beauty Light wand. I mean the Hollywood Contour Wand. And I will use the Beauty Light wand as well. So I'll just put a bit of that on now. Because I want to glow for Valentine's Day. Right, and then I'm going to use this, as I said, as a blush. I'll just get my blush brush. In fact, no, I won't. I'll get this little contour brush so that I don't stick it into any others. So I'm using Intense from this eyeshadow palette because I think that makes a beautiful blush. And the tiniest bit of that heart shade, which is a red, just literally, just to make the cheeks a bit pinker in the middle. Like so, and then I'm going to put on some lipstick and I'll be right back. I'll show you what I've applied. There you have it. I thought as it's Valentine's Day, it has to be a red, and I've used the Lisa Eldridge Jazz lipstick because it feels like you've got nothing on. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Please join me tomorrow. I will let you know about an hour before I go live, but it should be somewhere around 10:30 tomorrow morning, and I'll swatch this palette for you all, and I will also use the foundation I got from Natasha Denona as well, which is called Foundation X Plus. All right, so take care. See you all tomorrow. Love you all. Mwah!